Hello, I'm Mad Watson, a mixed media artist based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today is March 14th, 2025. I'm excited to share a bit about my journey, my creative process, and what inspires me as an artist. I've always been drawn to the arts. Growing up, I was immersed in music, dance, theater, and painting. Since I was a child, my senses were blended. Similar to synesthesia, I feel the world through a lens of color. When people are close to me, I feel different colors that would often reflect their soul, mood, and personality even before I got to know them. The best way I could express this phenomenon was through the arts. Art was a way for me to show what I felt through color. My parents were incredibly loving and supportive. They would hang up every single piece of art I created. That unwavering support made me want to give that same opportunity to others. I taught art classes to children for over a decade, and I was also a director of a children's theater. I realized that the best way to show my students they could follow their dreams in the arts was to follow my own. I then began to pursue art full-time. My work is deeply influenced by my love of the arts. I often incorporate sheet music into paintings. Music is a universal language that can be understood by anyone in the world. My connection to nature is another key influence. I feel closest to my creator when I create, and it's a very spiritual practice for me. Women are also the creators of life, and I believe the earth is God's canvas, which is why I often blend feminine figures with landscapes. I'm fascinated by flowers and the meaning behind them as well. My biggest influence comes from a mix of visual art, music, and photography. I've always been inspired by Claude Monet, his color palette, and his eye for nature. There's something so soft and dreamlike about his work that resonates deeply with me. The Impressionists are also very inspiring to me through their really thick texture. Musically, I'm drawn to composers like Claude Debussy. Their music feels so romantic, emotionally driven, and beautifully expressive. I'm also inspired by double exposure photography, how it blends two images into one, creating a surreal, dreamlike effect. That concept influences the way I layer my paintings, merging figures with landscapes to create something that feels ethereal and dreamlike. Overall, I find inspiration in all different forms of art, music, dance, theater, poetry, because each one celebrates life and expresses the soul in its own unique way. I think that's what makes art so powerful. Right now, I'm really focused on expanding my aura painting practice. Unlike my main body of work where I create my mixed media pieces in solitude, aura painting is a live experience where I can deeply connect with people in person. I sense people's energy and translate it into abstract watercolor paintings, and I then describe what all the colors mean. This helps balance the introvert and the extrovert side of my being and helps others feel seen and loved too. I'm also creating new mixed media pieces that explore the connection between women and nature, incorporate more textures, layers, depth, and of course I'm continuing to showcase my work at events like the Other Art Fair, artisan markets, and also planning to travel more with my art. One of the biggest challenges of being an artist is finding your voice and trusting the process. In the beginning, it can feel overwhelming, like you have to create something perfect right away, but I've learned that quantity produces quality over time. The more you create, the more you refine your voice and develop your unique style. Another challenge is putting yourself out there. It's not just about making art. It's about applying for opportunities, making meaningful connections, saying yes to things that push you forward, and showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. Building a strong support system is also key, and that comes from helping others as well. The biggest lesson I've learned is becoming friends with rejection. It's a natural part of success. For every yes, there are at least 10 no's, or maybe even more, and that's okay. Rejection isn't failure, it's just redirection. The artists who succeed are the ones who keep going, keep improving, and don't let the no's stop them. The advice I would give my younger self is to trust yourself. I spent a lot of time doubting whether I could really make a living doing what I love. If it lights you up inside, that's enough of a reason to pursue it. You don't need to have it all figured out, just start. I love experimenting with unconventional mediums and techniques, especially with texture and mixed media. One of my favorite mediums is glass bead gel. There are these tiny glass beads suspended in gel that create a reflective texture. I love how it mimics natural elements like sea foam, adding a tactile and shimmery effect to my paintings. I also incorporate found poetry, the collaging the words to create hidden meanings within my work. The sheet music from my childhood is another key element. I use it like a memory woven into the painting, a subtle nod to the music that shaped me. Along with that, I build up the really thick textures using paste, collage elements, creating layers that feel rich and dimensional. Another unconventional part of my practice is my live aura paintings. I paint intuitively, channeling a person's energy into abstract colors. It's a completely different creative process in my main body of work. It's spontaneous, personal, and centered around connection. I love that each aura painting is unique to the person I'm painting, like a snowflake. No two are exactly alike. For me, texture, symbolism, and intuition all play a role in how I create. I want my work to be something you don't just see but feel. Music is a huge part of my process. I almost always have something playing in the background while I'm painting. It helps me tap into a flow state. What I listen to depends on what I'm creating. For my mixed media pieces, I love anything from indie folk to classical music to cinematic soundtracks. It all depends on the mood I'm in and the mood of the painting. Music just adds another layer of fun to the creative process. One of the best reactions someone has had to my artwork was I created a piece that had this field of white daisies and a female figure and a deer gazing at the viewer. It all felt very random to me when I was creating it, but I had a very strong feeling that I needed to include all of these elements. Later, at an exhibition, this piece was displayed, and a woman walking by stopped and began to weep when she saw the piece. She bought the original and later told me the piece looked just like her late sister, that she used to go deer hunting with her and her father, and that her sister's favorite flower was daisies. That's the kind of reaction that reminds me why I do this. Art isn't just about making something beautiful, even though it can be, and I love that, and that's fun too, but it can also be more than that. I feel as though I'm just an instrument, and the creator gives me this inspiration to help people heal. Another time I was doing an aura painting, and I got a glimmer of a color that was attached to this person. It felt as if it was someone who had passed on. It was a very bright green. I told her that I felt this green presence, and with tears in her eyes, she said that her husband passed away, and about a month after he passed, she went to this medium that told her that her husband would come back to her in the form of the color green. I think art has an incredible power to heal, connect us to others, and translate the true feelings of our souls here on this earth. I hope my work helps people feel seen and loved, connected, whether it's my mixed media body of work or an aura painting. I want it to be a reminder of beauty, hope, and the unique light that each of us carry.